Good morning, greetings, friends, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I am your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I specialize in using nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and deadly medical procedures. If you suspect that there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being, and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health issue. That's why we're here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 33 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like acne, psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds, recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system. It is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, if you have a comment or success story you'd like to share, if you just want to contribute to the conversation, call 844-236-6010. That's our number, 844-236-6010, and we love hearing from you, 844-236-6010. We got a guest coming on in the bottom of the hour, Michael Moore, who is a makeup artist and also a lifestyle expert, and he is going to talk about beauty and health and wellness from a holistic perspective. His website's moreforlife.com if you want to check that out. We'll be talking to him at the bottom of the hour, so we'll get your calls in our next segment, 844-236-6010. If you want to purchase longevity products, call 866-735-2470 or go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com, and take a look at the products, all the longevity products that are up at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. Also have blog posts and news stories and videos. You can take a look at those, and you can also sign up to join the Brightside Ben team off the websites as well for a one-time $30 fee. You can be in business for yourself and help spread the word about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program. One of the neat things about being in the longevity business is you get to inspire others. If you're the type of person, I talked about this at my talk on Saturday for my friend Tom Chenault. I said, it's when you go to these Super Saturdays, these longevity events, you get inspired, but you can also, when you participate in the longevity business, you have an opportunity not just to get inspired, but to be inspirational, to help other people. If you're the type of person that wants to be inspirational, to help other people, this is an ideal business opportunity for you to at least look at. Call 866-735-2470 or click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. All right, so we have been talking about medical tyranny, I guess you could say, which is entrenched by beliefs, by memes, by myths, by things that we assume are true without ever questioning. I'm going to be a critical thinker. Critical thinking is a very, very important skill to have if you're going to navigate this crazy morass of information, this labyrinth of varying opinions and ideas, and the way information is transmitted now instantaneously, fake news. You got to really, really, really be like a soldier to cut through the weeds of disinformation that is out there, and misinformation. Misinformation meaning non-intentional, and disinformation meaning intentional. You got to be a critical thinker. Critical thinking allows you to cut through the weeds of the mimetic jungle. It's a mimetic jungle out there. And one of the ways that medical tyranny is entrenched is by this thing called diagnosis. Diagnosis is something that we have all come to assume is something that is an important thing in our lives. Diagnosis. I call it the tyranny of the diagnosis. It's a sneaky little trick. Nobody ever questions, they may question their diagnosis, but nobody questions the concept of diagnosis. Diagnosis is a concept. It's an idea. It's a historical event. The advent of the diagnosis is a historical event. It's something that somebody made up, came up with. Now, it's certainly an advance over the old superstitious kinds of diagnoses. I guess they were still diagnoses. They just used superstition. Now we have scientific diagnosis. We use metrics. We've always diagnosed. But now we have metrics. And the thing about the metrics, that's another thing. There's a thing called diagnosis. There's a thing called metrics. You wouldn't know any of this stuff if you didn't do some critical thinking. Most people don't. And I hope I might be losing some of you right now. The point I'm trying to make is we don't know we're sick, and we may not know we're sick, and we're being told we're sick. Or we may not have any symptoms of being sick, and we're told we're sick. That's called disease mongering. Disease mongering is the idea that diseases, we make up disease states and we make up pre-disease states. The disease states that we make up are bad enough, but the pre-disease states, you say, well, I really do have fibromyalgia. I really do have heart disease. I really do have diabetes. No, your body's just messed up. That's how you want to look at it. And why is that important? Because when you understand that it's just that your body's messed up, it simplifies how you take care of it. That's the reason it's important. If you have a fancy schmancy diagnosis, idiopathic guttate, I saw one this weekend, somebody just sent me a letter. Idiopathic guttate hypomelanosis. What? Idiopathic guttate hypomelanosis. Okay, what does that mean? Idiopathic, whenever you hear that word, that means we don't know what the heck's causing it. Idiopathic. We have no idea what's causing it. Idiopathic. Guttate means a drop, like the shape of a drop, the shape of a water drop. Hypomelanosis means low melanin. So this lady has patches, little white patches on her skin. That's what idiopathic guttate hypomelanosis is. You got little white patches on your skin. That's all you need to know. That means the pigment cells are sick. That means the pigment cells are broken down. It all comes down to the same problem, you guys. It doesn't matter where it's happening. It's all cellular breakdown. We're made up of cells. Everything that happens to us is cellular. If you're sick, it's a cell problem. You can call it anything you want, but all you got to do to reverse it, whether it's arthritis or acne or atherosclerosis or Alzheimer's disease, all you got to do to begin the reversal process, sometimes it takes a while if you've been deteriorating for a while, but to begin the reversal process is the same thing for everything. For everything. It doesn't matter what your diagnosis is. This is so important. If you're sick, this is the most powerful thing you will hear. I don't care if it's myasthenia gravis or multiple sclerosis. There are certain things you have to do no matter what your disease state is, and you'll get better. You'll feel better, and that's the marker. You should feel better. You know you're on the right track when you feel better. Doctors can cure your cancer, but you feel like crap the whole time. Not cure your cancer. I take that back. Doctors can halt your cancer, maybe, through chemotherapy. There's no cures. And if you don't take care of the environment, and that's really the message here, you got to take care of the environment the cell is sitting in. It all has to do with the cell, but it's the environment that the cell is sitting in. The environment that the cell is sitting in is largely determined by the blood. That means you work on the blood. This is not rocket science. It is not complicated. You work on the blood. You clean the blood. That's why we're always talking about the digestive system. So do not be intimidated by diagnoses. Diagnoses are simply numbers and words and concepts, and they're just there to get you into the computer. They're just there to get you coded so you can have a certain insurance premium that you have to pay, and certain drugs that the insurance company will pay for, and certain procedures they'll allow you to do. You ever wonder who sets the cholesterol scores? Do you ever wonder about reference ranges? Nobody ever wonders about reference ranges. We just say, well, my blood sugar was high. Oh, my PSA was high. Oh, my blood pressure's low. How do you know if it's high or low? Who tells you if it's high or low? It's a reference range. All right. If you don't know you're a slave, you can't do anything about your slavery. That's the problem with this sneaky medical tyranny that shows up as these ideas like diagnosis. All right, we'll be back on the bright side right after this. Okay, we're back on the bright side. I am Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll get your calls this segment. If you have questions, comments, success story, anything you'd like to share with us, 844-236-6010 is our number. We are going to talk to Michael Moore, who is a makeup artist and a lifestyle expert about beauty from the inside out, I guess you could say. All the aspects of beauty, all the aspects of staying beautiful that are not necessarily physical. How our bodies show up in from a physical perspective is the end result of a lot of things. Our spiritual connection or lack thereof, our mental, the way we think, the way we feel, as well as, of course, how we take care of our bodies from a nutritional standpoint. We've been talking about this idea of diagnosis, the tyranny of diagnosis. I'm going to have more to say about that tomorrow. I got a letter this weekend from a gal who was upset because she had been spending a lot of money on the Healthy Start Pack. She's gluten-free, but she still has her idiopathic guttate hypomelanosis. Yes, idiopathic guttate hypomelanosis. And she still has it. And she's spending all this money. She doesn't know why she still has it. The reason why is because she's trying to treat 3 very long Latin words. She's not taking care of the problem. She's taking care of the disease, or the diagnosis, I should say. She's taking care of her. That's the way we treat our illness. We take care of our diagnosis, not our body. We address the diagnosis, not our body. We pay no attention to how our bodies feel. We go by our diagnosis, for better or worse. Sometimes, or for in a positive sense or in a negative sense. Sometimes we just feel like crap, but our tests come out perfect. And they say, well, it's all in your head because this is our test. This is what our test says. But I feel like crap. It doesn't matter. Here's what your test score says. You're good. It's like you go to the restaurant and you tell them, this hamburger's awful. And the waiter says, what do you mean? Look at the menu. It says right here, hamburger, delicious, yummy hamburger. What are you talking about? This hamburger's awful. It's like we pay attention to the menu. We pay attention to the words. We pay attention to the test, not to how we feel. Disease mongering. There's a great book by Lynn Payer, Payer, called Disease Mongers. Disease mongering is the idea that you're sick, but you don't know it yet. That's what the medical model wants us to think. We're sick, but we don't know it yet. Or we're on the way to being sick, but we don't know it yet. That's how they sell statin drugs. That's why they wanted to, for a while, I think they stopped talking about putting statin drugs in the water, but there were some people who thought we should have statin drugs in the water. Just in case. Drugs are not cell compatible. That's the problem. Your body has to detoxify a drug. There's no drugs that will ever make you healthier. Or make you healthy, I should say. There are drugs that will kill things if you're got back infection, but from a long-term health perspective, there's no drugs. There are no drugs that will make you will improve your health. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number, and our friend Dorian is on the line. And we do have lines open for you if you want to talk to us. Dorian, what's going on, man? How you doing, Dorian? Do we have Dorian? I don't hear my friend Dorian. All right, well, put him back on hold, and we got nobody else on hold, so I'll just tell you about... Let me just give him one more shot here. Dorian? All right, you got to call back because you're not around. You're not on. All right, so I don't know if you guys ever heard of this magazine called The Townsend Letter. It's really cool. You can go to townsendletter.com and take a look at it. Anyway, so I've had a subscription for a long time to this one. They're not always, they got kind of medical model-ish sometimes, but they do have some good stuff here. Anyway, melatonin is not just for sleeping. It's also for cardiovascular disease and cancer and macular degeneration. The research will shock you. Well, if you understand how melatonin works, the research doesn't shock you. Melatonin is a building substance. It's a relaxing substance. It's a anti-inflammatory, antioxidant substance. It's a really, really amazing molecule, melatonin. It antagonizes serotonin. Serotonin, you may think serotonin from the advertisements that serotonin is a happy substance. It's not a happy substance. Serotonin is a vigilance substance. It's a daytime substance. It's a substance that gives us the alertness to function in the jungle in the daytime, or in the jungle from an evolutionary standpoint, but the modern jungle. And it's a very important coping substance, serotonin is. Too much serotonin makes you overcope, which means paranoia. That's what serotonin. Too much serotonin causes great anxiety and paranoia. Too much serotonin. There's actually something called a serotonin syndrome, which is where you just freak out because serotonin is a vigilant substance, and when you have too much of it, you get hypervigilant. This is why they had the people who shoot up the post office or do the crazy things are oftentimes on serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Keeping serotonin in the system for long periods of time pharmacologically is not a good idea. Melatonin balances out serotonin. Melatonin is a relaxing substance. It's a nighttime substance. Your melatonin, if you're healthy, your melatonin goes up as the sun goes down. It helps you sleep, and while you're sleeping, you're healing, and everything's calming down. Melatonin has a calming down effect on everything. Serotonin has a hyper effect on things. Melatonin has a calming effect. The problem with melatonin, and melatonin's got multiple benefits because of this calming effect for everything from Alzheimer's disease and neurodegenerative problems like Parkinson's or Huntington's, menopause. It protects you against ionizing radiation. There's all kinds of benefits. It's great for the digestive system. The problem is it's a hormone. It's not a supplement. And it's not necessarily a good idea unless you're just not making enough, and that happens as we get older. It's not necessarily a good idea to take hormones on a regular basis because you will downregulate your own hormone production. So I would be a little bit careful about, even though there are wonderful benefits to using melatonin, I would be careful about supplementing with it, although you can build your own melatonin by relaxing, by activating the vagus nerve, by activating the parasympathetic nervous system, primarily with SDR breathing, slow, deep, rhythmic breathing. It's the best way to do it. Lots of ways to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the best way. All right, I got Dorian coming back here. Let's get to my friend here and see what he has to say. Are you there, Dorian?
I am here.
How's it going? What's going on?
Going great. I have a question about blood sugar.
Yes,
I don't know if anybody else has this experience, but when I test my blood sugar on both hands, say I test my index finger on one hand and the pinky on the other hand, the blood sugars are very different.
On the two hands?
Yeah, I check.
I don't know
both
how
hands
that could be.
Because I check both of them. I check one at a time.
Yeah.
And I realized that the readings are not the same.
I don't know how that could be. It's all your blood. It's one system. That doesn't make sense. I mean, I can't answer that. If you do some research, let me know, because I can't figure out why that would be.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, let me know, because that's a new one. I can't. That doesn't make sense. But thank you. Maybe there's some pressure change differences inside your body. I don't know. All right, I'll talk to you later. Thanks, Dorian. Appreciate it. Zoraida. Did I say that right? Zoraida?
Yes, exactly.
Hey, Zoraida. Hi. Hi there. Nice to talk to you. What's going on real quick? We're running out of time here.
Yes, I was calling today because I wanted to ask you about CBD oil.
That's a big question, my dear. We only have about 20 seconds. So can you call back? Call back. I apologize. We're out of time. We're going to talk to Michael Moore in our next segment. You're listening to The Bright Side. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. Thanks for listening. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time. 24/7 on our archive page at brightsideben.com. Also, you can get your longevity products at brightsideben.com, criticalhealthnews.com, and pharmacistben.com. And don't forget to check out truthtreatments.com for all our Truth Skin Health products, and truthnourishment.com for our nutritional products, our Enerfood products, and hemp salve and hemp extract. I don't know why. We're going to have some enzymes up there here pretty soon. I have to talk to Robert Lundgren, who is my webmaster. All right. I am very excited to have our next guest on. Michael Moore is a makeup artist and a lifestyle expert, and he helps women and men stay beautiful, but not just, although he's very skilled at being a makeup artist, and he's also a celebrity and worked on celebrities. He's very talented that way. He brings more to the table when it comes to beauty. I've known Michael for many years, and I'm very excited to have Michael Moore on our on our show today. His website, by the way, is moreforlife.com. Hey, Michael.
Hey there, Ben. How are you?
Good to talk to you. So did I describe you correctly? Would you say?
Well, it's always hard to hear myself being described, but yeah, I would say so. I've been in the cosmetic industry, in this industry for 31 years, and I think after 31 years you could be considered an expert, and I think that's what my clients consider me as well.
30, it's a long time, right? I mean, you learn a thing or two. No matter who you are, you're going to learn a thing or two in longevity, like 30 years. I know exactly what you're talking about. So that's why it's really interesting to me how you branched out from being a makeup artist to being a lifestyle artist, or a lifestyle expert, I guess you say, helping people stay beautiful on physically beautiful by approaching all levels. Is that correct? By addressing all various levels of wellness?
Yes, I that's exactly what I call it. And, I sat here in the 31 years of being in the industry, and where my studio is in Denver, Colorado, and Cherry Creek North, I sit there and I look and see what so many people consider to be beautiful, and which I don't consider to be beautiful. I see these women with over puffed up lips and injected cheekbones and eyelashes that look like only, a Cupid doll would be wearing, something like that.
Right.
And there's nothing beautiful to me about any of that. And I'm not saying a woman or a person doesn't, it's not right for them to get any injectables or any surgery or anything like that. But what I do say is you always have to go to the right person for it so that it looks the most natural. Because as I hate to get religion into this, but I always say God created us in the most beautiful of light. And so the way you're created is the way that you are to be, but let's enhance it as the aging process happens. And being 53 years old now, the aging process is a little harsh. And
I don't feel sorry for you. It kicks
because
in pretty vigorously.
Wait till times about, right?
It gets worse.
Yes, it gets worse. I mean, and for everything. And I was actually having some conversations with that this weekend. I was down in San Antonio, Texas, with a bunch of my friends that I performed together with 33 years ago. And I sat there and I look at them and I'm like, damn, they look old, But then I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, I actually don't look that bad. And everybody asks me, it's like, what do you do, Michael? What supplements do you take? And I think it's a lot more than supplements. I think it's more about, taking care of yourself from the inside out, as we always talk about. And I know you're a big proponent of the right things to eat. But, you taught me something years ago that I use all the time about how big is our stomach. And our stomach is no bigger than the palm of your hand.
Isn't that interesting?
And so when we are sitting there and we're going to these restaurants, and being in Texas, everything is bigger in Texas, right?
Oh, yeah.
When they bring me this big plate of foods, that's been the biggest eye-opener in my life of just how much food do we need.
Like 10 stomachs worth of food.
How nutritious is that food anymore?
Yeah. You're eating like multiple stomachs worth of food when you eat.
And people wonder why they're gaining so much weight.
That's true, and it's more resources that your body has to spend on the digestive process. Every study that's ever been done on longevity shows that the less you eat, the longer you live.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Every single study that's ever been done on longevity, when they try to relate those two, they find that calorie restriction extends the lifespan of animals from human beings to earthworms. And it makes perfect sense because it's a lot of work to digest your food. It comes down, Michael, to do you want to digest your food or do you want to be beautiful and healthy and youthful?
Exactly.
That's ultimate. At the end of the day, that's what it's going to come down to. We do need some nutrition, but you also have some interesting spiritual kinds of things that or an interesting spiritual approach or psychological. We'll leave spiritual out of it, but kind of psycho-spiritual or psychological approach that you take to beauty.
Most definitely. Every morning of my life, there's a meditation. And, first of all, I always start my meditation with talking about who I'm grateful for and what I'm grateful for in my life. And I think gratefulness is one of the most beautiful things a person can be. I would say self-confidence is the second most beautiful, but being grateful for
gratitude.
What has been given to you in the world.
Yeah.
And I understand a lot of your listeners might have had, a hard life, and I think we've all had hard lives in our own ways, but we've got to be grateful that we're still here talking about it, right?
You know what a good way to be grateful is to imagine somebody with a gun to your head and about to blow your brains out, and you will no matter how bad your life is, you will want to live. No matter how bad your life, when push comes to shove, if your life is threatened in any way, you will want to, for most people, they'll do anything to live, no matter how bad their life is. We have to be, I mean, we are grateful, but we don't pay attention to how grateful we are. It's like that, did you ever see that movie, Fight Club?
Yes.
Remember how he holds the gun to the guy in the back of his head and he said, and then he says, that's going to be the best, the next breakfast he has is going to be the best breakfast he ever ate. In the middle, he threatens the guy's life with a gun. Brad Pitt threatens the guy's life with a gun, and then at the end, Ed Norton says to Brad Pitt, "Why did you do that?" He says, "Because that next breakfast that guy has is going to be the best breakfast he ever has in his life."
Yeah.
And that's
a very good way to think about it. Actually.
Yes, it is. It really is. And what you're saying is not just airy-fairy, Michael. It's biochemical because you produce more oxytocin, you produce more serotonin, you produce more dopamine, you produce more happy hormones when you are happy. You produce more happy, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system when you're grateful. Your blood pressure drops when you're grateful. And isn't that cool, Michael, how we have so much power over how our life shows up, and we think we got to go to the doctor and have surgeries and drugs so many times when little things like that, like gratitude, can help. And we think we need plastic surgery when maybe we need some grace and some gratitude. That's why I like your message so much, because you're in a business, and I'm in the business too, by the way. We're both in the same business, kind of, right? Our business is sort of like so focused on what you rub on, right? Not what's coming from the inside, but what you're putting on from the outside. And the skin is like the end result of what's happening on the inside, right?
Exactly. You know, when clients come to me and they have a few pimples or they have some wrinkles or whatever, I'm like, well, let's look and see where those wrinkles are coming from. And they look at me like, what are you talking about? My dermatologist or my plastic surgeon said they can inject these. I'm like, well, why don't we do something inside so we're not putting botulism in our body?
Hang on, Michael. We got to take a break, so we'll come back after this commercial break. Thank you, Michael. All right, we're talking to Michael Moore. His website is simplymore.com. He's a lifestyle expert as well as a makeup artist. Got some really interesting things to say about beauty. We'll be back on the bright side right after this. Okay, we are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben, and we're talking to Michael Moore, who is a makeup artist and lifestyle expert in Denver, Colorado. His website is simplymore.com. And you see people coming in right off the street, right, Michael? Or they make appointments? How does that work exactly?
Yes, it is. And I just want to correct one thing. I apologize, Ben. It is moreforlife.com.
Moreforlife.com. I'm sorry. Moreforlife.com. I think I've been saying simplymore.com. You're absolutely right. I apologize, Michael. Moreforlife.com. Moreforlife.com. Hey, Michael, have you ever seen sad skin?
Yes.
Isn't that interesting? Like, you can look at the skin and you can see that it's sad.
Yes, and exactly, can you tell me personally, and I know it's an interview about me, but can you tell me a little bit about what causes sad skin?
Sad people. Well, circulation. It's really circulation. Yeah. It's a circulatory issue. Sad skin, and really also, and I talk about this in the radio program all the time, sickness is dirty blood. That's the cause of all sickness. The most immediate the immediate cause is cellular, but behind the cell disease is dirty blood. And once the blood becomes sludgy and dirty, number one, it doesn't deliver its nutrients, it doesn't deliver its oxygen, it doesn't detoxify. This is when skin gets sick, and we see it as sad skin. Also, what you were talking about grace before, grace and gratitude and peace of mind open up blood vessels. They cause vasodilation. And that especially to the extremities in the face. Fear closes the circulation of the face. You ever hear people say, I got white as a ghost? You know, when they get scared, they got white as a ghost. The blood vessels close in the face. But we're all subclinical. We don't see a ghost necessarily, but we live our lives as if we're like running from a ghost. You know, we might, maybe. And that causes this vasoconstriction in the face, and that adds to the poor circulation. So sad skin is a circulatory issue, and healthy skin is skin that has a glow to it, right? You know what I'm talking about. When that's circulation. circulation. That's circulation. That's why vitamin C is so important, by the way, is it improves the circulation to the face, to the skin, and you can see it pretty quickly. And there's a lot of things you could do. Oxygen is really important. If somebody came into your facility, your salon, your spa, how do you call it? What would you call it? Your studio. Your studio, right. If somebody were to come into your studio and had sad skin or had rashy acne, just didn't look right, first of all, you can't do much. You can do probably something with makeup, but you can't really. Can you hide it with makeup totally?
You can. You can actually brighten the surface of the skin with a little bit of illumination. But, I always talk about skincare first. I talk about what the nutrients are that the person are putting into their body. And I start out very basically because I'm not a pharmacist like you are. And so people do think about me being very topical all the time. But I really talk about, first of all, how much hydration are you getting? Maybe you need to go and get a hydration IV. Maybe you need to relax a little bit. Maybe you need to start putting, salmon and avocado into your diet on a daily basis. We talk about those. Then I also take them into what are they drinking on a daily basis? What are they eating on a daily basis? I have to I'll fully admit here, coffee is a crutch for me, and I do it because when you're a business owner, you're exhausted a lot. And a lot of people, a lot of your listeners are very exhausted as well. So it's a quick pick-me-up. But the more and more I try to do it, the more and more I try to get coffee out of my diet because I know that when I'm drinking a lot of coffee, my skin really shows.
What does it look like? How does it look when you drink a lot of coffee? What do you notice?
First of all, it brings a lot of redness to the surface of my skin, and it also dehydrates my skin.
Interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, vasoconstriction, I could see from dehydrating, but the redness is do you think it's an allergic kind of thing?
I think it's a little bit of allergic, but I also think it's the caffeine that if you're getting too much caffeine, it's really revving up the blood system so much and pushing everything to the surface, I feel.
Interesting. So when you lay off of coffee, your skin looks better?
Most definitely.
How about tea?
I'm supplementing it with more water, and I drink about 2 gallons of water a day.
Would tea do the same thing?
If it's caffeine, most definitely.
Yeah, you're thinking, I gotcha. So you're doing 2 gallons of water a day. Are you doing water-soluble nutrients like B vitamins and vitamin C and all that stuff? Probably you are.
I'm doing trace minerals into my water every day, yes.
And do you suggest nutritional supplementation to people when they come in with skin problems?
Most definitely, yeah. I talk to them about what they need and what their skin is really lacking this way, but also I really talk to them more about how they can actually get it into their diet on a daily basis to help them. And, a wise man by the name of Ben told me years ago about colloidal minerals, and we really talk a lot about colloidal minerals to my clients because, our food has no nutrients really left in it very much. You can get into your organic food, but like I was recently talking to a woman who really kind of started the whole organic farm to table kind of restaurant thing here in the United States. And she was really talking about how, organic is just a selling term nowadays.
Yeah, it's a marketing
term. Who is certifying these things as organic?
It's a great question. That's what we were talking about before you got on the program. We were talking about who is it that sets the criteria for all the things that we assume to be true. We were talking about in terms of medicine, but in terms of organic too. How do they certify it? How exactly is it certified organic? And while it's clearly better to eat food without pesticides, the fact of the matter is, like you say, the soils are so depleted, the plants are so depleted, the food is so depleted. Do you run into people who say, I'm just going to eat, I'm not going to supplement, I'm just going to eat well, or I'm just going to make sure I eat correctly?
Most definitely, yeah, all the time.
Yeah, and it's it's very difficult to do. We're very fortunate here in Denver, though. We have a health would you say, you've been traveled around the country, you lived in various places. Would you say Denver is pretty much one of the most health conscious places you've been in?
Yes. I think so. In the Front Range area of Colorado, most definitely. Denver, Boulder.
What's the worst place?
Of another place that would be more healthy than those.
What's the worst place?
I was actually down in Atlanta recently, and that was pretty pathetic, as well as Las Vegas was pretty pathetic.
Vegas is the buffet capital of the world, or is in Vegas.
Right. And we have no idea what that food is being made with or how it's being made.
You got to be so careful. So you're putting people on a supplement program. You're putting people on a food program. What about do you have any psychological protocols that you suggest to people, like things that they do from a psychological, psycho-spiritual kind of way?
Well, you got to start everybody out walking before they can run. And I am a firm believer with that. I even talk about skincare that way, too. Let's start off with the basics, then we're going to take you up to the full marathon. But, if we can get people just to sit and meditate or sit and think and sit and be in their own silence for a little bit of time, that's going to make a world of difference for so many people. So many people are petrified to have silence around them.
What's that about?
People are always shocked when I'm at home and they come over to my house. There's no music, there's no internet, there's no television in my house whatsoever. And there's internet, so when I need to, check my emails and such. But a lot of times I just sit in silence in my house because that is enough for me, because my mind is so busy all the time with thinking about the next color of blush I want to make or the next lipstick. So I've got to turn it all off somehow. And when you are in front of clients every single day, all day long, it's like you're taking on a lot of their energy. And if you're in a position that you're in the service industry, you're in the banking industry, you're in whatever, you are taking on all those people's energy. And so you need to cut it off and really think about it. And one that it was taught to me by one of my spiritual teachers that I love, and I have become so addicted to this, and I teach this to my clients all the time, is doing a rose water spray after they are interacting with people.
In order to clear themselves off, or to clear the energy out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. So I've heard of sage, by the way. Have you heard of using sage spray for that?
But yeah, you don't want to always light a fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. So there's also an interesting relationship between owning a business and being silent. Like, it's hard. Do you find it difficult to be a business owner and still maintain disconnection? Like, don't you feel like checking things like when you're in silence? Like, aren't you wondering about your business kind of?
Most definitely, yes. But that's one of the hardest things to do, because it's your baby, it's your life, it's your livelihood. Yeah. And so you have to constantly be watching over everybody's shoulder, but yet you've got to have the confidence in yourself as a leader that you have picked the right people to lead the company with you.
Easier said than done. Easier said than done. That's
so true,
great.
Ben. So true.
That's great advice, though. Thank you, Michael. So give yourself a plug one more time. Moreforlife.com.
Moreforlife.com, and in Denver, Colorado, we've got a great studio right here in Cherry Creek North. We are so well known for teaching women how to wear makeup for them and their lifestyle, but we also take it a lot further, and we do custom blended mineral makeup for you, your skin type, skin tone, and skin texture. And we just have a lot of fun when you're in here.
And you are totally the makeup guru, the makeup and beauty guru in Denver, Colorado. And I appreciate you coming on the show, Michael. Hopefully I'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much, Michael Moore. And his website is moreforlife.com, moreforlife.com. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.